Good morning and welcome to Government House here in Canberra on another beautiful spring day. My name is Gerard Martin. I'm the Secretary to the Council for the Order of Australia and the Secretary to the Australian Bravery Decorations Council. I wish to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional custodians of the land we are meeting on today and recognise any other people or families with connections to the land of the ACT and the region. I acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution they make to the life of this city and this region. And I would also like to acknowledge and welcome any other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. I'd like to acknowledge and welcome our official guests this morning, Vice Admiral Mark Hammond, Chief of Navy, Major General Carla Watts, representing the Chief of Army, Ms Jo Talbot, representing the APS Commissioner, Air Vice Marshal Nicholas Hogan, representing the Chief of Air Force, Mr Greg Hood, representing the Order of Australia Association, Dr Helen Nugent, Chair of the Order of Australian Association Foundation, Mr David Dutton, representing the ACT Emergency Services Commissioner, and Mr Steve Forbes, representing the ACT Emergency Services Commissioner. The Australian Honours System is an important mechanism to recognise and celebrate ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Today is a special day not only for the recipients, but also for their families and their communities. It is a day when we celebrate a diverse range of achievements and service. Here at Government House, we are privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement. I hope we can help make today an occasion you will all recall with pride for years to come. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand, if you're able, as the Governor-General enters the room, and then please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem. After I read their names and citations, the recipients will enter the room from the doorway on my right, and once reading a biography of their service and they have been invested, they will leave by the centre aisle to return to their seats. At this point, you may like to show each of them a short round of applause in recognition. Can I now ask you to stand for the arrival of Her Excellency the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. And can I now invite the Governor-General to make some remarks?
Thank you very much, Gerard, and good morning, everybody. What a glorious Canberra spring day we have for this beautiful, important ceremony that we'll share together. I also want to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional owners of the lands that we gather on and pay my respects to their elders past and present and extend that to all peoples with long-standing connections to the ACT and the surrounding regions. And I want to acknowledge any First Nations people who are joining us here today. I also want to add my welcome to our very special guests who join us this morning. It says so much about the importance of today that we have an illustrious group of distinguished guests here who represent many of the people who are receiving in particular orders today. I also want to thank the RMC band. Having live music from such an accomplished a troupe of musicians is always wonderful, and it's always great to be led by a wonderful singer, because I'm always reminded how poorly I sing. So it's nice to hear someone who has such a fine voice leading us in the Australian anthem. I also want to especially acknowledge Dr. Helen Nugent AC, who's the chair of the Order of Australia Association Foundation. Now, Helen is here with 6 remarkable young Australians who have received the 2026 Foundation scholarships. These are life-changing scholarships, which include being matched with someone else recognised in the Order of Australia, who will serve as their mentor in their field. That might be one of the people we're investing today who become a mentor for these remarkable young people. It is an extraordinary scholarship program, and I'm delighted that for the very first time, the scholarship winners are here to join us for this ceremony and to see those being invested today. Jake, Miriam, Zeph, Isam, Nazia and Okhert, you are all so very welcome here today. And I know you'll take a lot from seeing those that are invest today, and we'll tell you so much about the mentorship program that is ahead of you. So on this glorious spring day at Yarralumla, welcome to Government House. This is a place of peace and welcome where absolutely everybody belongs and everybody is welcome. I want to take a moment to thank the team here at Government House. I get to stand here at the front of everything we do, and I am supported by the most extraordinary group of people who care very deeply about every experience you will have today and in the run-up to arriving today. So I want to pay tribute to them. You'll see many of them during the course of this morning's hospitality. You can have a chat to them as well and thank them, but they do an extraordinary job making sure that today is simply perfect for everything we want to do to honour great Australians. Now, as you may or may not know, I am the first Canberra-born Governor-General. There's something very special about the privilege I now have to preside over this ceremony here at Yarralumla and to celebrate Australians who have given so much of their lives to the people and places across the country, including the ACT and across Canberra. It's even more special in this 50th anniversary year of the founding of our honours system, which has already recognised thousands and thousands of Australians from so many different walks of life over that first half century. During the course of the year, we've taken every opportunity we can to mark the birthday of our honours system. There were a lot of things that happened in 1975. It was a big year for Australia, but one of the big things was the commencement of the honours system. And as a national honours system, the acts of service, integrity, creativity and care that we recognise today, the achievements in so many fields of endeavour, are mirrored in cities, towns and regions right across the country. They're recognised, as we are doing today, in every kind of ceremony taking place in government houses in every state and territory. In Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Hobart, Adelaide and Darwin, during the course of this month, the spring investitures are making sure that Australians are gathering with their friends and family, just like all of us today, to be here to bear witness to the investing of insignia for these truly remarkable Australians. I hope, like everyone around the country, all of you today have cherished memories of this beautiful occasion. As your Governor-General and Chancellor of the Order of Australia, I've been fortunate also to share in investitures taking place a long, long way out of this place, out of session and far from the formality of this drawing room and the rooms of the government houses around the country. Most recently, I travelled to the north of Australia for two very, very moving, profound ceremonies. The first, in July in Rockhampton, was to posthumously present the Victoria Cross of Australia to the family of Private Richard Norden. He was awarded for an act of supreme courage during the Vietnam War. He was 19 when that act occurred, and terribly sadly, Private Norden died only a few years later here in Canberra as a 24-year-old when he was serving as an ACT police officer, and he died in a terrible motorbike accident. His VC had been a very long time coming. His family, whilst they were overjoyed that he was finally being recognised for his act of bravery, really didn't want to come to Canberra or to go to Gundagai, where he had been born. Decades and decades had passed, and they now live in Rockhampton. Family and friends all gathered there, and they wanted to make sure as many people who had known Richard, had worked with Richard, and the sons of his, who had been very small children at the time he died, could have their families all together, which would not have happened had we made them come here. So we travelled to Rockhampton. It was a very special proceeding. The Commissioner of the ACT Police was able to attend and also present a posthumous police medal the night before we presented the Victoria Cross for Australia. It meant that everyone that was important to the family was there for that investiture. It was a very historic occasion. The second posthumous award occurred just a few days later when we travelled from Queensland to the Northern Territory, and it was to invest Dr. G. Yunupingu with the highest meritorious honour in our country, the Companion of the Order of Australia. For Dr. Yunupingu's investiture, the family and his community had asked us to travel to his home, East Arnhem Land. There, we were welcomed on Gummidge land by his family and by the community who were so keen to celebrate him. There was a deeply moving traditional ceremony with a bungu, Yolngu language and Yolngu dancing. On the red earth, in the heat and dust and the afternoon light of the territory, I was so proud on your behalf, on behalf of all Australians, to present the Order of Australia insignia to Dr. Yunupingu's daughter, Bin Miller Yunupingu. It carried huge significance, the arrival of the insignia into a traditional lands welcomed by traditional people with 65,000 years of attachment to our country. There are 2 photos on the desk in the study. For those of you that are here and wandering around the house, I'd encourage you to have a look to see just how important those ceremonies were. They're captured in some beautiful photography here at Government House. It was very important to us as an expression of care that we were guided by those families' own wishes and traditions in bestowing those awards, rather than imposing a formality that would have undermined the importance for those 2 people who are no longer with us. Finally, in August, during a state visit to Singapore, I had the privilege to invest the former Prime Minister of Singapore, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, with the insignia of his appointment as an honorary companion of the Order of Australia for his services to the remarkable and long-standing bilateral relationship between Australia and Singapore. We do that occasionally. They're very special moments. They are called an honorary companion because they are for those that are not Australian citizens but have worked profoundly in relation to Australia's engagement with the world. Earlier this week, I also had the opportunity to go to Canberra Hospital. I went there to award Professor Johns, a long-standing lecturer from the ANU. I wanted to present him with his AM because he had contacted us over the weekend. He'd gone into some renal failure. He was in hospital and couldn't come to a ceremony here this week. So we went to him and we sat by his bed. He was doing quite well, but it was wonderful to be able to present him with his AM, with his family all around him, and with his wife, who was also a language teacher at ANU. She'd actually taught me an Indonesian at university when I was there in the 80s, and we had presented her with her OAM last year. So there was something very important about being at Canberra Hospital to make sure the family was there to receive Professor John's award. And this afternoon, I will visit RSL Life Care here in Canberra because one of our investees this week's partner is so unwell that she won't be able to see. She wouldn't have been able to come here. So we will do that investiture at RSL Life Care to make sure that as a couple, they will be able to do what we are doing here today and celebrate together. From its very beginning, the Australian Honours System and the Order of Australia has recognised remarkable people. And as all those unique ceremonies that I've just explained to you really demonstrate, the qualities really are embodied in the diverse people we recognise. They represent the very best of modern Australia. On Tuesday night, and we'll do it again on Friday, later today, we had an excellent evening honouring recipients from the first 3 sessions. Tonight we'll honour those from the remaining 3 sessions, and many of you will be there. And we have a panel session where we hear from a number of those that are invested with their insignia to hear what does this honour system mean to them, and to encourage everybody to get to know one another and see what it is that we say is remarkable about great Australians. There's no one form of achievement in the Order of Australia. As you'll hear this morning, as Jared carefully reads each of your citations, your lasting impact on the world is not bound by geography, by status, interests, careers, ability, age, or gender. Instead, it is one of the purest expressions of the uplifting power of care, kindness, and respect that you have embedded, all of you, in your diverse and myriad interactions with the peoples, communities, issues, the country, the communities, and the world around you. You embody care for one another, care for those who do the caring of others, care for our extraordinary continent and its environmental beauty, care for our civics and institutions, and care for the way in which we discuss and debate the issues of our time without judgment, anger, or violence, always with respect for the other. That's exactly what I have the enormous privilege of seeing and feeling in this room during the Spring Investiture Week. And we see it in the course of the next few moments as we share in the celebration of those that I will invest with insignia. It's a privilege to learn all about all of your stories. I've read them all closely, and I take those stories with me wherever I travel and repeat them, whether that's around Australia or around the world. On behalf of all Australians, I want to thank all of those that will be investing this morning for everything that you have done and continue to do to make our country truly remarkable and so successful. I want to also thank the families and friends and colleagues who have nurtured and supported you along the way, many of whom are here to share in the joy of the awards this morning. You are terribly important to everything that's happened for those that will receive their honours. I also want to thank those that took the time to nominate. We do not have a system where a council decides who we celebrate. This all comes from the Australian community. So if you don't get nominated, it's because someone has not taken the time to sit down and write the nomination. It's not difficult to do, but it does take a moment of care. It doesn't have to be someone that you know. In fact, early this week, one of the companions of the Order of Australia was awarded to a gentleman who was nominated by someone who had no idea about their work until he read about it in a magazine. It turned out that this gentleman represents Australia at NASA, is one of Australia and the world's greatest aeronautical experts, but no one would have known if a gentleman hadn't read about it and then nominated him from afar. You can nominate anyone for any service, anything they do in our community, but the nomination is critical. So I want to thank everybody who has nominated, because we end up here today because of that act of care at the very beginning of our system. So as we move to the beautiful ceremony, all I want to do now is say, on behalf of all Australians, I am so proud and privileged to be the person that will invest you with your insignia. I do that on behalf of all Australians. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for everything you do. You are a great inspiration to the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'd like to thank and acknowledge the RMC Band for their work here today, and I'm going to ask them to play a short musical interlude now while we ask our first set of recipients to get into their positions. Your Excellency, to be appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Philip Adams. For eminent service to broadcast media, to journalism, to the arts, to cultural leadership and to the community. Throughout his career, Mr. Adams has told Australia's stories and captured our unique cultural identity. As host of Late Night Live on ABC Radio National for more than 3 decades, he demonstrated his passion for intellectual rigour and social justice while exploring Australia's place in the world through compassionate commentary and engaging debates. Mr. Adams introduced a national audience to ideas and contemporary perspectives from around the world, keeping the country informed and encouraging fair and balanced conversations. Today we celebrate his legacy as one of Australia's leading broadcasters, filmmakers, writers and public intellectuals. Mr. Philip Adams, appointed a Companion of the Order.
always, because of the huge library that you give us of sharing the world in Australia. Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you. We're going to do a little photo.
Okay.
Oh, come forward.
Picture time.
Picture time. Like this. And we'll show you the next one.
Thank you.
So great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
To be appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia in the General Division, the Honourable Justice Simon Stewart, for eminent service to the law and to the judiciary, to legal education and training, to mentorship of legal practitioners, and as an advocate. Justice Stewart is one of Australia's most distinguished jurists, with a long history of work of the highest quality at the bar and on the bench. He has been a Justice of the High Court of Australia for 5 years and was previously a Judge at the Federal Court of Australia, Deputy President of the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, and the President of the Tax Bar Association of Victoria. Justice Stewart is known in the legal profession for his integrity and strong sense of service, and as an exemplar for the finest traditions of the bar. The Honourable Justice Simon Stewart appointed a Companion of the Order.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
There's the spot.
I'll check and do a handshake one.
Thank you.
To be appointed a Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Dr. Henry Gardner, for significant service to the community through a range of organisations and to education. Dr. Gardner has devoted his life to supporting people in the local community through a career in education and executive administration. As an educator, his career spanned over 4 decades across all levels of teaching and learning, and he spent many years at executive positions in Rotary International on a national level and locally. Dr. Gardner's years of work have touched the lives of many communities, demonstrating exceptional dedication to serving others. Dr. Henry Gardner, appointed a Member of the Order. To be appointed a Member of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Neville Tompkins, for significant service to youth through leadership roles in the Scouting movement and to the community. Mr. Tompkins' impact on the Scouting movement is exceptional and extends beyond our national borders. He has worked tirelessly to support Scouting in the Asia-Pacific region, particularly in Timor-Leste and Myanmar. Alongside his commitment to Scouts, he has served as a lifeblood donor, Ambassador for St Vincent de Paul Society, and as a Justice of the Peace. Mr. Neville Tompkins, appointed a Member of the Order.
Do the scout. We do the scout sign? Absolutely. Don't do it this way. And I'll go back. I wonder if everyone knows why Scout shaped with the left hand. It's closest to your heart. Have I got that one?
Absolutely.
That's right. I'm the chief scout. That's why she was there.
Thank you very much.
To be appointed a member of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Commodore Anthony Clenthis, for exceptional service to the Royal Australian Navy and the Australian Defence Force in strategic military workforce planning. Commodore Clenthis has made an exceptional contribution as Director General Future Navy and Director General Workforce Design. He was responsible for leading the planning, design and transformation of the Australian Defence Force's workforce in a complex, dynamic and strategically challenging environment. Commodore Clenthis led and brought together disparate teams and established new branches dedicated to transformation and reform of the military workforce in support of future strategic capability and technological priorities. Commodore Anthony Clenthis, appointed a member of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Ms. Nanette Back, for service to the community of Canberra. Ms. Back is known as a selfless, compassionate and community-minded woman of great character. She has served disadvantaged youth in the community as President of the ACT branch of the Lord Taverners Australia and is also former President and Board Member of Strathnairn Arts. Ms. Back has been an inspiration to many and a role model for the young people she serves, mentors and guides. Ms. Nanette Back, awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Scott Gorringe. Mr. Gorringe, a Mythica man, has worked in Indigenous education since 1998. He is the founder and director of Murray Matters, and his significant accomplishments in leadership training have been used to lead deep discussions to find ways of resolving complex situations. As a leader, tertiary educator and investigator, Mr. Gorringe has worked over many decades to preserve Indigenous history and culture. Mr. Scott Gorringe, awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the General Division, Mr. Terence Malloon, for service to the museums and galleries sector. As curator, educator, writer and gallery director, Mr. Malloon's career has been dedicated to connecting art to audiences. Mr. Maloon's most significant contributions have been through developing a broad community understanding of the visual arts and working as an advocate for the role of visual artists in this country. He is a great supporter and mentor of young artists and arts practitioners. Mr. Terence Maloon, awarded the Medal of the Order.
We'll do that after in a while.
To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Commander John Gill. For meritorious service to the health, safety and well-being of Navy people. Commander Gill's leadership, professionalism and dedication have contributed to the health, safety and well-being of our sailors. He has significantly contributed to improving the Australian Defence Force, the Navy and Australian Navy Cadet organisations, helping them become strong and progressive, culture-focused organisations. Commander John Gill, awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Major Diane Hutchinson, for meritorious performance of duty as the nursing officer and mentor to the Australian Defence Force Arts for Recovery, Resilience, Teamwork and Skills program. Major Hutchinson is an exceptional officer who has demonstrated outstanding dedication to duty. She has contributed to the health and well-being of defence and external personnel. Major Hutchinson's service has resulted in beneficial health and mental health outcomes for the Australian Defence Force and the wider community. Major Diane Hutchinson, awarded the Medal of the Order. To be awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in the Military Division, Squadron Leader Aaron Thorpe, for meritorious service to the Australian Defence Force in the areas of air, land integration and air battle management capability modernisation. Squadron Leader Thorpe's ability to translate long-term strategic trends into tactical outcomes has delivered generational improvement. He is an officer who combines technical expertise and an ability to inspire others. Squadron Leader Thorpe has shown the ability to modernise disparate components of Air Force tactical command and control, which has directly resulted in lasting capability improvement for the Australian Defence Force. Squadron Leader Aaron Thorpe, awarded the Medal of the Order.
Wonderful. Come forward.
To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Lieutenant Colonel Levon Lambert, for outstanding achievement as the Commanding Officer of the 7th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, demonstrating strong leadership and judgment. Lieutenant Colonel Lambert's command of the 7th Battalion of the Royal Australian Regiment enhanced Army's capacity and operational effectiveness. His leadership, dedication to the well-being of personnel, and ability to generate capability enabled a number of successful operations and exercises. Lieutenant Colonel Lambert's service is in keeping with the finest traditions of the Australian Army. Lieutenant Colonel Levon Lambert, awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Captain Benjamin Corsini, for meritorious achievement in leading the design, development and implementation of the engineer works environment. Captain Corsini's dedication and commitment outside of his core role delivered a leading-edge system that increased collaboration with industry partners and foreign militaries while reducing cybersecurity risk. Captain Corsini's work has enhanced Defence's construction management capacity and has shown potential broader application across the defence enterprise. Captain Benjamin Corsini, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Major Peter Harrison, for meritorious devotion to duty in the management of Army's operational records as the Staff Officer Grade 2 Official Histories Collection Team of the Australian Army. Major Harrison displayed commendable devotion to duty and dedication to the provision of Army operational records to the Australian War Memorial Official Histories Project. He has demonstrated impressive commitment to the identification, collection and management of Army's operational record repository to allow Army to share its story with Australians through the Australian War Memorial. Major Peter Harrison, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Major Justin Langford, for meritorious devotion to duty as the Officer Commanding of the 1st Combat Service Support Team, 9th Combat Support Battalion. Major Langford displayed leadership, commitment and professionalism in his role as the Officer Commanding the 1st Combat Service Support Team. He consistently demonstrated commitment and initiative in all aspects of his role. Major Langford's actions have enhanced units of both the 1st and 9th Brigades and have positively influenced relations between Australian Army, the Australian community and regional partners. Major Justin Langford, awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Dr. Bridget Gilmore-Walsh, for outstanding public service in the development of new legislative regulation on vapes. Dr. Bridget Gilmore-Walsh was instrumental in the development of the world-first legislative reform on vaping, in line with the Australian Government's pledge to reduce smoking and vaping rates. She worked in collaboration with a small team and other Commonwealth, state and territory health and police agencies and peak industry and advisory groups on the design and development of the reforms. Her work will have a lasting and positive impact on the health of Australians, particularly children and young adults who are especially vulnerable to the negative health impacts of vaping. Dr. Bridget Gilmore-Walsh, awarded the Public Service Medal.
No, I think it's
To be awarded the Public Service Medal, Ms. Kylie Wright, for outstanding public service in the establishment of the Australia, United Kingdom and United States licence-free environment. Ms. Kylie Wright led and delivered trilateral legislative and policy reform to establish technology information sharing between Australia, the United Kingdom and the United States. Ms. Wright's leadership assured partners that the framework and amendments to Australia's export controls would meet US and UK requirements and timeframes. The AUKUS licence-free environment marks a generational transformation that will protect Australia's critical technologies and capabilities and provide opportunities for greater research and industrial collaboration amongst the AUKUS nations. Ms. Kylie Wright, awarded the Public Service Medal. To be awarded the Ambulance Service Medal, Mrs. Lisa Deck, for distinguished service as a member of an Australian ambulance service. During her 27-year career with the ACT Ambulance Service, Mrs. Deck has consistently demonstrated exceptional clinical and operational leadership in the provision of pre-hospital clinical care to the ACT community. She has shown sustained dedication and commitment to patient-centred care and clinical excellence operationally and in supporting roles. As Training and Development Officer, Mrs. Deck has maintained her operational capacity while supporting the clinical development and proficiency of less experienced members of the ambulance service. As a collaborative leader, she is a role model for all members of the ACT Ambulance Service. Mrs. Lisa Deck, awarded the Ambulance Service Medal. be awarded the Emergency Services Medal is Julia Rosichka for distinguished service as a member of an Australian emergency service. Ms. Rosichka is a unit commander of the Pielago unit of the ACT State Emergency Service. In her 15 years of service, she has assisted at floods, storms, fires, missing person searches, and in incident management and frontline activities during the COVID-19 pandemic. She is highly regarded by her colleagues. Ms. Rosichka's years of volunteer service demonstrate an outstanding level of dedication to the ACT, SES, and the ACT community. Ms. Julia Rosichka awarded the Emergency Services Medal. Your Excellency, that concludes the presentations for this morning. Let's give all our recipients one last round of applause. I'll shortly invite the recipients to join Her Excellency for a formal photograph at the state entrance. And in a moment, everyone else is welcome to move to the lakeside lawn for refreshments. Please note that our photographer will be capturing a photograph with each of the recipients, their guests, and the Governor-General during the reception today. This is also your opportunity to take a selfie with me, or if you prefer, with the Governor-General. So we invite you to have your phones ready. Can I now ask you please stand for the departure of Her Excellency and the recipients. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please now feel free to move around the house and the garden.